What is going on, party people? It is I, Show, and today I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've put about 10 hours into the game now. I actually just got through streaming, and I need to talk about it. This is going to be sort of my first impressions here. I know that these exist everywhere now. I know GameSpot's already uploaded theirs. I know there's reviews everywhere, and there's people that have already beat the game, but I just have to talk about it. I really do. I have to talk about this game. At least the first 10 hours that I've played. It's spectacular. It's really, really good. There's some parts of it that definitely feel a little, I don't want to say off, but off-putting maybe? I don't know, that just feel a little, like what's going on here? First things first, I'll actually start with my biggest concern, my biggest worry about the game is sort of the original story stuff, the ghost stuff, mainly. I'm confused right now. I haven't, I'm only 10 hours in. It's not been explained. I think it has something to do with the Ancients. I think it has something to do with Sephiroth. As you play through the beginning, you kind of see, they kind of lead you down the alleyway, and you see Sephiroth there. There is that stuff happening, and it's a little, like, I don't know, the design of them's not entirely great either. It's probably my one concern. It's my one issue I have right now, but it's something that can easily be alleviated later as they explain things as the story progresses. The stuff that they have added outside of the ghost is kind of remarkable. It's weird how it throws you off. It definitely throws you off, as I mentioned in the previous video. When you go to the Sector 7 slums after the bombing run, you go there and you don't immediately go to the Avalanche Underground. You don't go hit the pinball machine and go down there. No, you do these like side quests and things like that. You have to get an apartment. And I never even thought of that. Like, of course, like, where's Cloud living? Like, this is a much more realized and realistic world than, say, the original. So there's those sorts of things happening. And yeah, Cloud has to have an apartment. He has a weird neighbor, and Tifa lives right next to him. And there's that stuff happening. And then there's the Jessie stuff. My goodness, Jessie is a completely different character. Or I don't even want to say a different character. She is a character now. She actually has way more of a personality. She's not just some sidekick. She is important to the story, at least in the beginning, or from what I've played. She's very important. We go on a huge mission with her. We infiltrate the Shinra base. She has to get this new bomb with a detonator, which is really, really cool. We see her family. Her dad is sick. He's in bed. What is going on? Like, it's just so cool. My reaction to that, I was blown away. I was like going through, I was just amazed that we are in Jessie's house right now. I never would have thought that playing this game I would be going into Jessie's home and seeing her mother and seeing her dad sick from Mako poisoning, seeing that she's been lying to her mom about her being an actress at the Golden Saucer. Like, just super cool stuff. At first I was thrown off. I'll admit I was a little weirded out. I wasn't sure how I felt, but by the time of the end of that mission, it felt really solid. It felt like it was a really good arc there, and I'm really curious how much more they develop her, and also Biggs and Wedge are so much more important. There's so much more characters. They are actually people. Biggs is extremely charming and funny, and Wedge is hilarious. Obviously he's funny, and he's sort of the comic relief, but he also has a lot of heart, and that's something that you kind of guessed on in the original. You're like, yeah, Biggs is just a funny fat dude, blah 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 blah, but no, he's so much more in this game. He's so much more. When you drop him off at his house and he has all these cats and he keeps calling Cloud bro, that was awesome. That was really cool. I'm getting ahead of myself. I mean, there's so many great aspects to this game from what I've played so far. The first bombing run was incredible. I cried. You can literally watch the archive on my channel. I literally cried seeing these environments rebuilt and brand new, and not just seeing them rebuilt, but expanded upon. It's a feeling I've never had while playing a game. It's a feeling I've never had. I've cried during games. I've cried during, emotional scenes. I've played Red Dead Redemption 2. There's some crazy stuff in that game that brought some tears to my eyes. There's lots in the OG Final Fantasy I cried, and other Final Fantasy games I've teared up. Even 15 got some tears out of me. But this, I've never had tears of just playing a game, just walking around an environment, a mundane environment and it was just, obviously that's nostalgia, but I don't know, it's just, I guess the one word I can use to describe the game itself is just, it's massive. It is so big. in terms of gameplay, in terms of environments, in terms of characters, story. It's just huge. It's absolutely huge. And you were greeted with that right off the bat. You understand that right off the bat. You're like, okay, this is what we're doing. The dialogue, the quips back and forth with Barrett and Cloud, and the second bombing run, which I just got through playing, it was different. It was different in a sense because Cloud and Barrett now have sort of, there's some camaraderie there, and that's surprising and really, really cool. And him talking to Tifa and the flashbacks. Oh my god, the flashbacks are so well directed and just so cool. As I predicted, we were getting that exposition scattered throughout the game, and it's really, really cool seeing. And again, it's brought tears to my eyes. It is just extremely well done. I want to talk a little bit about the gameplay because that's something that I've failed to talk about in pretty much every video that I've talked about this game in. I have not really talked about the gameplay, and now I'm playing it, and I'm just gonna say this is the best action RPG I've ever played. I'll say it. It plays incredibly well. It's so smooth. It's like butter. It is like butter, I tell you. I love switching between characters and utilizing them for very specific reasons. I love Tifa in this game. I love how she has these combos. You can hold down the square button to do like a charge uppercut. So tap it, charge it, she'll do this uppercut, and then open the ATB menu, and then use her dive kick, and then she'll continue from there. It doesn't cancel the animation, it literally continues for a combo, which is ridiculous. That is so cool. You could do that with Cloud as well with his Braver. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Barrett's ATB abilities as well. His awesome like Buster Cannon shot thing. I guess it's basically Big Shot. That's ridiculously cool too. I love that stuff. The materia in the game is so much more meaningful. I have never had this much fun just experimenting. There's so much experimenting to do. One of the materia that I picked up was called Elemental Materia. And basically what that does is you put it in one of the slots with another spell, with an elemental spell, like fire, wind, lightning, or ice. Or at least that's what I have in the beginning. I'm sure I can get bio later or whatever. Putting that there gives you the ability to deal fire damage, deal elemental damage, whatever spell you have, to your normal attacks. So at first, I had Tifa using fire a lot. I actually leveled up that materia to Fire. And then I used the elemental, and she was using fire punches. I'm like, this is awesome. And then, of course, I'm using lightning with Cloud, and I have Thundaga, is that what it's called? I use that, and I'm shocking people, and I'm noticing it's doing extra damage because it's like super effective or whatever. So then I got thinking, like, why am I not doing that with Tifa with her punches? So I took away her Fire, or I think I moved that down to another materia slot, and I put lightning there instead, and now she's doing lightning punches, and it looks ridiculously cool, and it's dealing so much more damage. And I realized that, like, way too late. I could have been taking advantage of that the whole time, fighting those machines, fighting the sweepers. Like, it's just so powerful, and I love that. And experimenting with the summons as well, and Ifrit is so cool. Ifrit is so awesome. One of my favorite environments that I actually got to play was like right under the plate, the maze. I guess that's what it's called in the game. It's like basically legit a maze that is like right under the plate. You have to shut off the lights. Such a cool inclusion. Like, it makes so much sense thematically and like story-wise. It just feels so right being there. And that environment was just so fun to explore. Moving the platforms, getting the secret materia in all these different spots, fighting all these different enemies. I thought it would get boring. I thought it would get old and stale. It didn't. It felt so fresh at every turn. It's not like down below you could just see the slums, man. You could see everything right there. And the characters are constantly talking. There's not a lot of repeated dialogue in this game is what I'm noticing, at least not between the characters. They're always saying different things to each other. Barrett's always reacting to the things, and it just makes the game so exciting, and it just adds so much to what was already there with the original. The boss fight with the Airbuster is the best boss fight I've ever had in an RPG. Certainly an action RPG, like, period. An incredible, incredible boss fight that had my heart absolutely pounding My heart was rushing. Again, I was switching between characters. He starts flying out. He'll start flying out, and you have to obviously use Barret. So I'll switch to Barret, start shooting at him. Barret's taking some damage. Switch to Tifa, throw Barret a potion or a high potion, and then switch to Cloud, throw a Thunraga, and like just going back and forth between all the characters is just insanely fun. It is insanely fun. The boss fight shoots these little electric bomb things. You got to kind of move your character along. They do a lot of environmental stuff, which is super, super fun. There's air combos in the game. If there's enemies above, like Cloud will jump up and start hitting them, which is super cool. The motorcycle chase is ridiculously cool. The character Roche, I hated at first, but by the end of that Jesse mission, I ended up really liking him. He's really cool. And what I just played, what I just ended my stream on, was fighting Reno. That was awesome. That church scene was everything I wanted for this remake to be. It was everything I wanted. Him falling through the church. I cried. I cried because it's whenever a game delivers on just every single front, it just feels so right. It feels so right. Everything feels so smooth and right. There are a couple of things that definitely feel a little iffy. The ghost, again, I'm not 100% sure on what they're doing with these ghosts. I don't know if I like them yet. I'm sure it has something to do with Sephiroth or the Ancients or the Materia. Again, I'm not going to dip into spoilers there, but there's definitely something interesting there. I'm not sure I'm loving it right now, but I'm curious to see where it's going. That's like, again, one of my only like concerns in terms of story. But the gameplay feels flawless. There's a couple of like walking around town. It's a little frustrating sometimes. Music is just blaring at you, and then you walk into a shop, and then there's music playing on a radio too, and that's super loud as well. And it's like characters are all talking. It's a little hectic. That stuff can be toned down a little bit, like lower that OST a little bit when I walk into a shop. Stop the outside OST and just play the one from the radio. Like it just like doesn't really work, and there's so many people talking at the same time. That's a little annoying. That's a little annoying. You know how like in games and RPGs when you go to towns you'll like hear people talking, but not really talking, you'll just hear like crowd noise. This game kind of needed that. Instead of having crowd noise, you actually hear what the people are saying, so it's just like voices everywhere around you. That's a little like meh. But other than that, I love this game. I'm loving it so far, I should say. Again, I think I'm like 11 and a half hours in the game. I literally just met Aerith. I did that church mission, knocking down those chandeliers. I did not think that they would keep that. They totally did. That's awesome. I love this game. I am enamored. I am emotionally impacted already, and I haven't even seen Corneo yet. I haven't even... There's so much stuff that still needs to happen. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm in love right now. I am in love with the gameplay more than I thought I would be, because I'm not a huge action RPG fan. I don't play a lot of action RPGs. This, again, as I mentioned, is probably the best I've played in recent memory. I played 15, I played 12, I played a little bit of Xenoblade. This just feels so much better than all of the... In terms of combat, not in terms of the game itself, but in terms of combat, it feels so much more smooth and so much more visceral and just awesome, and utilizing every one of the characters, and how everything's not so complex either. It's very easy to understand, and it's very easy to pick up and play, but there's so many different strategies that you can do as well, utilizing Cloud's his counter. Cloud has a counter move that's really, really cool to use, and you can bait enemies into it, switching between... It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played this game? How much have you played? Comment below and give me your thoughts so far on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you see this video in your subscription feed. I've been kind of struggling with videos lately. If you look at my channel, you could see it. Every video that I have uploaded this year so far has not done the numbers from what I was uploading in literally December. And that's been happening to a lot of people, and I'm curious if it's because my subscribers aren't seeing my videos. I don't really know what's going on, but comment below, and you know, if you can, I'd really appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch me play more Final Fantasy, make sure to follow me on Twitch. Hit me up on Twitter for updates on when I'm going to be streaming, or Discord. I will let you know there. Also, I have a second channel. It's going to be down in the description, but it's also on my channel page, Fumincho Plays, where I upload all of my archived streams. There's a playlist down on my channel page as well, where you can check that out. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to keep playing more with this game. I'm going to be streaming, I guess, an entire playthrough, So yeah, I will be back with a review. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to talk more about it. I'm sorry that this is just a weird kind of just a talk. I'm not going to edit this too much. I just wanted to bare my soul to you guys. So yeah, I'm going to end the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.